I want to talk a little bit about ticker symbol DWAC. DWAC has had a huge amount of momentum. It's the Donald Trump social media SPAC. Its valuation doesn't make sense. I got a comment by one of my subscribers. I consider him my internet friend now, Lombardo, and he is debating whether to short the stock.
I just want all of the money. Do you know what I said? I gotta get the dinero, the cash, and the bread. Money. Do you know what I'm saying?
I myself am probably not going to take this trade right away, but this is actually a very interesting trade. Kind of the same reason I mentioned the earlier social media plays, Twitter and Facebook, as a potential trade to watch, because these types of stocks do really well with user activity, subscriber growth, and things like that. A lot of times geopolitical tension does help these types of stocks. We see that in DWAC, although DWAC is a very speculative name with no real business support or valuation support here. And DWAC is valued at around 3.63 billion or something along those lines. So this is what I want you guys to keep in mind with this trade. So if we pull a year, okay, don't judge me for using Yahoo Finance, all right? First thing, it broke above a previous high of $94. If you take a look, it had an all-time high of 175. I remember trading it once around 100. I don't know why this chart doesn't take that into account, probably because it's Yahoo Finance and it's a piece of shit, or probably it just happened intraday one day in a very strange way. But one of the things is the momentum is heavy on its side right now. And there does not seem to be a lot of short sellers or a lot of selling going on here in this name. So I would be very careful about shorting this stock. I do not like shorting into momentum anymore. You guys have seen me get my ass handed to me once years back, shorting Chipotle Mexican Grill into momentum. It's hard to breach momentum. When momentum does go against these stocks, it goes against it hard, but sometimes you're just gonna have to be bag holding a short position, which is much more difficult than bag holding a long position. A long position, you know how much you're gonna lose maximum. Short position, your losses could be infinite. So it sucks to be bag holding a short position. So I have two pieces of advice here normally. Is normally either use a put option or do small size if you really want to start taking the trade, and don't add to your size until the trade goes in your favor. Do not, like, if it's at 97 and you initiated a short position of 100 shares, if it goes to 120, don't add to your short position. People blow their account doing that shit. So that's first of all, pick a really small size, a size that you know you can handle, and cut your losses, etc. Number two, cut your losses almost immediately, because I think this can run. The key level I want to see is how it does if it breaches 100 and how strong the momentum is once it breaches 100. That's what I want to see. It's already above a key resistance level, which was like 94, and there doesn't seem to be an end in sight right this second, okay? And the reason I want to point this out is, let's take a look at Moderna stock here for a second, right? It was obvious that this was a short position for a lot of people for a long time, but the problem is people initiated their shorts around 217. I know a friend who started shorting this around 250, and it's always dangerous to short into momentum like this, because this stock could keep going higher. And in this case, it ran sky high for a long time, even though a lot of analysts knew this stock was not going to be able to capitalize on their vaccines as much. So yeah, the trade is profitable, but you might have been, either blown out or forced to take the trade off well before you can capitalize on Moderna's eventual downswing, which is now 136. So to avoid this, use small size, but it's very important to do it when the momentum starts to really fade against it. Which in this case was right around here. I would say the momentum, you would have had to have missed the first few ticks. Probably around 380 would have been the first place I would have taken the short. I didn't take any short trade here on Moderna, just because the momentum was so strong and relentless. And you could kind of see the same thing with Roku. People started shorting it right around here. I know of people, I didn't do it, that started shorting it right around here just on valuation alone. And to be honest with you, the argument made sense, but it didn't matter, because This momentum alone carried the stock to 400. So you have to be very cognizant about momentum. I learned this the hard way with CMG a very, very long time ago. So try not to make the same mistake as me here. Now, if you're very adamant about DWAC is a whole nother beast because there's no valuation support. Honestly, I don't know where they're getting a $3.63 billion valuation. Here's the main reason I don't like this trade of shorting it here. The trade itself, the tape is very, very choppy. It's not super liquid. And sometimes it can skip 20, 30, 40 cents. And there's a huge discrepancy between bid and ask prices. That's why I don't like shorting this stock right here. Number two, I would wait to see how it performs over $100, see if it cleanly breaks out, and see if the momentum continues before you take the short position. If you do decide to do it anyway, remember, do it in small size. Options here are pretty expensive, so you still have to get the timing right on options. Let's take a look at the DWAC options. So let's take a look at these weekly options expiring this week. If you were to take, hypothetically, if you were to buy a put option here that expires this week, you're still paying like $5.50. If you go a little bit further out, $4.34. Personally, I would recommend going even like, it's at 96, going like $5 out and $3.10. The reason I say this is if the momentum turns against this stock, the correction will be sharp and will be vicious. So you should still get the money from here. But the options are still expensive. You're going to be losing, $300 at a time trying to short this stock at 100 shares at a time. So options are pretty expensive on DWAC. But personally, I just really hate shorting momentum. And hence why I would prefer to either do it through options or take really, really small size here. So even if you look at, that's only a weekly option, you guys, but let's look at even April 1st, hypothetically. This option is massively expensive. You're paying 15% on this option. It almost makes sense to sell calls, but I don't like to sell calls against something with this much momentum, okay? That is just scary to sell calls against this much momentum. You have to have more confidence to do that. I feel like it's less risk just to short the stock, okay? Than selling calls to be like, okay, this is the maximum it could go to. So I think if you were to do it, maybe take a call option or, put options 1 week out at a time and kind of hope that the trade goes in your favor. Like I said, when it crashes, it will probably crash very hard, very fast, the way Roku and Moderna did. But it's very hard to make money when the momentum's against you. The last thing I want to kind of point out, this is a question for my viewers, everybody. What do you guys think of this trade? This is a pretty interesting one. I was looking at the option prices on DWAC, and I noticed a 1 year out, I guess it's technically not a leap anymore, maybe it is, but if you take a look about 10 months out, you can sell a put option right now for $71. So maybe even potentially sell a naked put or a cash secured put. You make, on just one sell, you make $7,100. Your break-even point is DWAC can't go below $29 here because when you sell a put, you're actually betting the stock price will go either higher or stay about the same, but it gives you about $7,100 worth of profit to work with here over the course of the next 10 months if you were to sell it right now. But this is a pretty interesting trade, and I kind of am debating whether to just take this trade, but they're usually priced this way for a reason, and they're priced this way because there is a potential that this goes below $29. So Lombardo, I don't think you're wrong in your intuition that this could go lower just based on the way this option is priced. But it's very scary to short it now. If you do take it, I wish you really good luck and I hope it goes in your favor. But this is another trade I'm actually kind of looking at, selling cash secured put or a naked put here at $7,100. It's a 10-month trade, but pretty interesting one. Let me know what your thoughts are on this, or why not just sell a protective put? You short 100 shares of DWAC and you secure it by also selling this put option if you have the patience for this trade. Anyway, let me know what you guys think here on this trade right now. And best of luck. Don't go broke. I'll see you guys next week.
I just want the money, 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 money.